Welcome to Movie Speeching. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take good care. Ichi is the name of the movie. Please like and subscribe to get every update. This film tells the story of a young blind woman who secretly possesses great swordsmanship skills and is involved with a group of robbers. The film begins with a blind woman, or goze in Japanese, named Ichi, who makes a living as a singer. Her beautiful face attracts a man to her performance and makes her his mistress. However, one night he tried to sexually assault her, causing her to defend herself by cutting off her finger with a katana. Sometime later, she talked to her friend, who was also an narc, but she didn't seem to pay attention. She sits alone on a rooftop, petting a cat while her friend has sex with a man. However, the man refused to pay her and she was beaten by him and his men for demanding money from her. The men discover Ichi sitting outside and are captivated by her beauty. Before they can get their hands on her, a traveling samurai, Fujihara Toma, appears, stopping their intentions. The men who were robbers did not seem threatened by his presence. On the contrary, they mocked him. Trying to protect himself and Ichi, Toma tries to draw his sword but fails. Ichi then quickly defeated the men and left. Toma tries to follow her and offers to protect her by being her bodyguard, but she says nothing. The dead men had several tattoos on their arms. They arrived at the inn town of Beto. A boy, Kotaro, greets Ichi and offers to take her to an inn, but she asks to be directed to a gaming store, apparently looking for someone. Toma followed her from behind and started betting. Having lost almost all of his money to a group of robbers, Ichi helps him by whispering his guesses, which are always correct. Finally making a lot of money, Toma and Ichi leave the shop, only to be followed by the same group of robbers. They accused him of fraud and demanded their money. Ichi notices that they have the same tattoos as his previous attackers. Toma, once again unable to draw his sword, must rely on Ichi's skills to defend himself. She kills the bandits with ease, which Kotaro finds amusing. Then, a group of Yakuza that ran the inns, the Shirakawa clan, came to witness the incident. The clan leader's son, Taraji, believes that Toma is the one who defeated all the bandits and asks him to be Shirakawa's bodyguard. Kotaro wants to correct his mistake, but Ichi stops him. Toma accompanies Shirakawa while Ichi continues her journey. Kotaro convinces Ichi to come to his house by saying that his father knows a blind swordsman whom Ichi is looking for. Her father, who turns out to be a drunk, explains that the government inspector, Kataoka-sama, is coming to town in 3 days as part of his tour and that a party is planned. That's when Ichi might find the person she's looking for, if she stays and can earn some money as an interpreter. Meanwhile, bandits named Bankito discover the bodies of their slain comrades and their leader, Banki, identifies the same injuries in each of them. He deduced that the samurai had a characteristic backhand. Toma is treated generously and invited to eat at the Shirakawa house. They even invite Ichi to perform in front of him and the others. She starts a light song, but Taraji quickly dismisses it, asking for a happier tune to cheer Toma up. However, after the performance, Ichi refuses to talk to Toma and leaves just as Kotaro comes to pick her up. The next day, Toma accidentally meets Taraji's father and boss, the leader of Shirakawa, Chobei. Even though he is a Yakuza, he admits to being very afraid of Banki and his power. Rumor has it that you can't look him in the face or they will be defeated because his severely burned face looks very scary. Shirakawa is counting on Toma to defeat Banki, as his bandits have long disturbed the peace of the in-town and scared away visitors. In the afternoon, Toma meets Ichi and Kotaro fishing at the lake. He curiously asked her why she didn't want to get involved with anything or anyone, and she replied that blind people like her didn't understand boundaries and couldn't clearly distinguish bad people from good people. She also doesn't like children, but they are more trustworthy than adults. She almost leaves suddenly, but Toma then asks her to fight him with a wooden stick. She accepts and it turns out Toma is a much better swordsman than her. However, he was still hurt when he drew his katana because he had accidentally injured his mother while training as a boy, causing her to go blind. Back in town, everyone is busy preparing for the inspector's arrival. The inspector arrives and is immediately escorted to a kabuki performance. However, Bankito's robbers also arrive and start a riot during the celebration to attract the person who killed their members. They chase the inspector and aim to kill Shirakawa. Taraji struggles to protect his father, while Toma tries to help him but is still unable to draw his sword. Unfortunately, Chobei is killed and Toma falls unconscious. They weren't sure if Toma was the man they were looking for, but decided to take him along anyway. However, Ichi stops them and claims that she was the one who killed the robbers. She proves herself by killing some of Bankito's men before they agree to take her to Banki. Brought before him, Ichi is asked once again to prove that she is the great swordsman that Banki is looking for. After defeating 2 more Bankitos, Banki finally stood up and drew his katana. He said that he once knew a man with a backhand like hers, but he died of an illness. This man, Zatoichi, a great blind swordsman, is the person Ichi is looking for. He then easily defeats her, leaving her mortally wounded. Meanwhile, Toma is beaten by the surviving Shirakawa clan because they were unable to protect him during the previous attack, but Taraji disagrees with them, saying they need all the help they can get to defeat them. Bankito. Meanwhile, Ichi dies on a pile of rotting corpses, but Banki secretly walks up to her and whispers that if she survives, he will take care of her. She moved her hand a little after he left, grabbing a small bell given to her by Zatoichi when she was young, but it slipped from her hand and was lost. She looks back on her childhood. It turns out she was blind from birth and spent most of her time with Zatoichi, doing housework and secretly practicing with swords and clubs. Because he traveled a lot, she was left in the care of a group of gozes, who taught her to sing and play musical instruments. One day, a hangover occurs and one man in particular is fascinated by Ichi's beauty, causing him to attack her. She was kicked out of the group and later also defended herself against the man who attacked her. From then on, she wanders in search of Zatoichi, who she believes is her father, and meets Toma on the way. Meanwhile, Toma tries to save Ichi with the help of Kotoro's father. They blazed their way so that Bankito could not follow them. Banki asks Ichi to come back, but Toma, after calling his name, refuses and leaves. Banki vows revenge. Finally waking up, Ichi quickly stood up even though she was still severely injured and cried about how much she wanted to see Zatoichi one last time, as he was the only thing stopping her from ending her life, because she no longer had a reason to. What to live for? Then, hearing this, Toma comforts her, convincing her that she should live. She rests again, letting Toma escape and helping Shirakawa fight Bankito. Taraji and his men prepare to fight Bankito. He tells Toma not to run away this time. He knew that Bankito outnumbered them twice, but he encouraged his men to kill at least 2 robbers before they were defeated. Banki and his men finally arrive and a battle ensues. Both sides suffered heavy losses. However, Toma was still unable to draw his sword despite the horror he witnessed. Meanwhile, Ichi wakes up and finds Toma missing. Kotaro tells her about the fight in town and she quickly leaves to help him. Banki exclaimed as Toma came forward and handed Ichi to him. Taraji almost took his place as he seemed to be nowhere to be found, but then he appeared and was finally able to overcome his fear and draw his katana. They engage in a sword fight, which ends in fatal wounds. Ichi appears and quickly approaches Toma, watching him die in her arms after telling her that she should not give up hope. Banki struggled to get up and tried to attack him, but now she was ready and managed to defeat him. The surviving Bankitos fled for their lives and peace was restored to the town of Beto. Sometime later, Taraji assumed the position of clan leader, following his late father, and rebuilt the city. Ichi and Kotaro visit Toma's grave, where Ichi plays her favorite song, a slow tune she used to perform at the Shirakawa mansion. She plans to go to Toma's clan to place her sword on her mother's grave, so she says goodbye to Kotaro. Before leaving, she gave him the small bell that Zatoichi had given her as a souvenir. Kotaro asks if he will see her again, to which she simply responds with a smile. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.